You see like a little gas tank on the back there.
Yeah.
That looks like it came
The
off a
gauge,
motorcycle.
you see the gas gauge up front.
Now, if you're holding the shield out here and your face isn't over the top of it doesn't matter if it shatters, right?
Oh, yeah, just a poison
Wow.
cloud? That's great. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Total Recoil. It's good to be back with you folks. I'm your host, Israel Wright, former Green Beret. With me once again, the awesome, the amazing, the stupendous Paul Meixner.
Thanks, man. Hey, folks, Paul Meixner, former U.S. Army infantryman, and now I teach weapons and tactics both inside and outside of the film industry.
Paul Meixner, good to have you here, my friend. We are going to fly down to the beautiful island paradise of Yara. We're going to be checking out some weapons from Far Cry 6. Very excited to see Giancarlo Esposito. Hopefully he'll give us some great leadership training advice, or we'll take down his brutal dictatorship with some of these amazing weapons that we're going to see today. I'm sure that I won't be able to pronounce most of these, so you folks in the comment section will have to help me out. What do you say, Paul? You want to get going?
I'm excited for this, especially that it looks like there's a firework gun. I'm stoked.
Before we get into today's video, we have some exciting news to share.
Gamology is launching a brand new show called Ask a Gamer, where we ask 100 gamers like yourselves some fun and possibly polarizing questions. We'd love for you, yes you, to be a part of the show. Right now we are taking fan submissions for the next episode.
If interested, you can submit your footage using the link below. We can't wait to hear from you.
La Calvadora, Spanish for the Calvadora. Look at that, man. That's some industrial, like saw, like industrial strength stuff right there.
So-
They got hard, heavy metals, the cables and stuff, like a compound bow.
Harpoons are usually launched with either, like a spear gun underneath water is usually like a bungee cord, like a bungee cable.
Right.
I know of harpoons that it's like pneumatic air that launches it. And what makes it a harpoon usually is it has a barb on the end so it'll stick. So it's like, why don't they just use, a bow and arrow? So what's cool about this, like you mentioned, it's so industrial looking, but like I love the little details, like it's missing a bolt right there, and you can see the welds on it and how like kind of the edges of the metal have been hammered down.
Very
from the
MacGyver.
use.
I like it.
And it's got the cams on it, like on a compound bow. So
Wait, did
this
he
is-
just shoot a dog? What are we doing here? He just killed his own dog. I hate who. Draculis, you're a horrible human being.
I mean, it depends. Like, was that dog revealing his position? Was it going to attack? In that case,
Oh, look out for the lizard!
A little
Or the alligator.
Did that alligator have like clothes on? So the thing about harpoons, like I said, like look at like the size of that, broadhead, or that's not a broadhead, but the size of the pointy end. It's cool how it's wire wrapped, so it looks realistic. I mean, it can't go very far. I was gonna shoot the helicopter.
Yeah, shoot the helicopter down.
So if it's powerful enough, it's a little.
Yeah, the backpack rocket launcher. That's very Boba Fett.
So if it's that heavy, it's going to take such massive poundage to launch it that far, right? You're not going to be able to just cock that back normal. You're going to need a crank with gears on it, which makes you stronger essentially to pull it back. I go hunting with a crossbow sometimes, and you sit on the ground. You really got to pull it back in order to do it.
So those early crossbows had that kind of handle, or the thing that was a step.
You put your foot in.
Yeah.
And that's why you set your arrow or your bolt afterward.
Right.
So yeah, this looks super cool.
Yeah, I love the
Jesus.
industrial look of it.
Maybe there's gears on the inside, you know what I mean, that help. I'm trying to justify it, but
The
that's
side
a cool
goes
way
like
to cock
that.
it.
That thing on the right hand looks like a crank. You pull it back, Do you have any experience with improvised weapons or anything like that?
A lot of the stuff that I would make growing up, and then sometimes overseas we come across caches of like, the thing is in Iraq, it was just so easy to get Soviet era weapons. So I have friends in Afghanistan that came across more jury-rigged and handmade stuff. And they were legit things. I've taught some classes to people that work in the prison system that have shown me pictures of some insane improvised weapons.
I bet.
Absolutely insane stuff. But I like that thing. That thing was dope. It was cool. At first, it's like a harpoon crossbow. Why don't you just have a harpoon launcher or a crossbow with arrows? But it looks so heavy duty. My only issue with realism is the whole like cocking it. I don't know.
You think it's more of a two-hand kind of thing?
If it's got to be powerful enough to launch a heavy bolt like that, it's going to be such high poundage that it's going to be really difficult. Like the middle-aged crossbows often had crank that you would like crank it back with, and it'd take some time to do.
Tostador!
All right, the Tostador.
Yeah, flamethrower. It's the rain blower.
You can see like a little gas tank on the back there.
Yeah.
That looks like it
The
came off a
gauge.
motorcycle.
You see the gas gauge up front.
Now I wonder if that's a fuel gauge or if that's testing the pressure. So not only do we have like a tank on the back, but it's replacing it. So I wonder if it's like a combination propane, some type of gas. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but it's cool.
I love it. You got the propane canister in the front, the little blowtorch as the lighter. That's awesome.
So I like to use MAP gas. I have a couple of those for work, and you have propane and then MAP gas, and MAP gas actually burns hotter.
Five gasolina.
Now it doesn't look like it's got an incredible range. So one of the things with the, you know, as liquid fuel, this looks like it's, I don't know, maybe blowing out a type of gas.
Love the reloading animation where they take the tank out,
Right in there real
tighten the
quick.
strap in. Yeah.
Have you seen that like going around like the social medias where people like reload their vacuum cleaner or reload like the battery?
Yeah, what it
to
would
the
look like in
remote
real
and,
life.
like,
Yeah. What reloading a normal thing looks like with video game footage. Yeah. It looks like the main body of the flamethrower is like, looks like almost like an engine, part of an engine or something like that.
Well, so like, that gas tank on the back looks like it came off of a mini bike or a motorcycle or a lawnmower even.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So this certainly looks improvised.
El Susurro. Susurro.
Silent nail gun.
Just say the word.
So have you ever messed around with nail guns?
I was gonna say, you know, I grew up on a construction site.
Okay, so me too. Yeah. All right,
So
cool.
you know, if you're a kid, you're always playing with a nail gun.
Not only kids, but like my uncle's a carpenter, and he would tell stories about how they'd like mid-20s, like early 30s, they'd like shoot at each other from like.
Yep. Oh, so dangerous.
And so like with a lot of these, there's like a brace or like a safety thing, a spring on the front that you pull back.
Right.
and hopefully
You
it'll
have
shoot.
to have pressure on it before
you
it'll
can totally
fire.
remove that or like wire it in a certain way. And there's different types of nail guns, right? And different types of nails. But some of them are electric nail guns, and some of them have gas powered, and some of them, a lot of them, most of them are pneumatic. The pneumatic ones are.
Hey, why you shoot me in the face?
Now here's the other thing too. One of the reasons a bullet is so effective, especially with hollow points, is that it delivers all this energy and inertia, but then it expands out, so it delivers all the energy to its target. Where a nail gun, you're gonna have very specific shots in order to make it incapacitating, right? Because it's just a little bar. Unless that hits a vital organ and then you have to bleed out, or it severs your brain stem, you're gonna keep fighting. Like you shoot somebody in the forehead with that, and they forget what they had for breakfast on Thursday, but they still might be able to fight you.
Still be
you know?
alive.
So-
This is truly a suppressed weapon because there's no explosion, there's no cartridge. You know?
And depending on how much pressure it's using, it's not going to have a lot of sound. Like some air guns, people are surprised because like you can use an air rifle to hunt buffalo. Like you can get 50 caliber air guns, but they're loud.
What do you think about the distance on this thing?
Not well to be effective, not realistic at all, in my humble opinion. Unless this thing's super jazzed up, but then it's going to be really loud.
I can see the pressure gauge on the side there. I wonder if you have to pump it up or something like
awesome.
that. I love that. I love the
Rocket thing,
backpack
yeah.
rocket launcher.
I wonder how he ranges that. There we go. Let's shoot a nail gun at a tank. Oh, and it blew up. Okay, that was all right.
Well, this is a third
Maybe he
world country.
threw
you know.
a-
Maybe they make their
the
tanks
tanks.
out of cardboard.
Explosive cardboard.
Explosive cardboard.
It's got like a C-clamp on the side.
Yeah,
like
it's part of the handle.
pure jury rig.
I love it. I love
I'm
the.
impressed with the sights on it too.
Yeah, they really did a good job of piecing these things together. You believe that it could come out of just something you find in a garage.
So like I said, the only major unrealistic thing is like the distance shots. I mean, you can shoot a nail gun that far, for sure. I've done it, you know, like I know tons of construction work. They set up a bucket somewhere, or there's like, you know,
On your lunch
an
break.
in-ground pool 2 houses over, like, huh, ching, 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 ching. See how many you can get in there. I've never done that. I don't want to mess with people's stuff, but I know it's happened. So yeah, you can arc them, and some of them can be fairly accurate. It's just the amount of energy that it takes to kill or incapacitate a human, and with a nail that isn't going to be expanding on impact, so it's not going to deliver all that energy. You know, it's just, that's the only unrealistic part I see.
Interesting.
But it looks super cool. Oh, what's he doing?
It was ripping a bullet out of himself.
Pulling a bullet out of himself. See, that's another thing too. You don't always want to take bullets out unless you got bandages ready to go. Like if you ever get stabbed and the knife is still there, leave it there. Go to the hospital, stabilize
Take a picture.
Take a picture, text it to us, or leave it in the comment section, and then send it to my Instagram, and then go to the hospital. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this is awesome.
My favorite thing is how silly looking and goofy looking so you know what this reminds me of? A great 80s movie, The Rescue, with the SEALs that were stationed in South Korea, and then they go on this mission, and then like they get captured, and the government doesn't want to retrieve them, so their kids go in and
Oh, I
save them.
remember that. Yeah, the
Scene
kids
near the
going
end,
after
I
them.
think they're celebrating the Korean New Year or something.
Oh my
Where in
gosh.
this compound, they had all these fireworks set up. So these kids go in and they like wire it so they can pull it in, so all of a sudden they're facing in to create all this chaos.
I love it. I love the improvised nature. Like you get the fireworks, basically a fireworks rocket launcher. You get the whole rack of fireworks in there with like a dresser drawer handle. Super
It resets
cool.
it. So, you know, fireworks can kill someone and they can blow stuff up, but mostly what you're going to be doing is distracting and creating chaos. Like, you know, there's a tank. Like, you just blew up a
get
tank.
that
Like,
tank.
those are some like heavy duty, like we're talking Texas grade fireworks or something. Like, these are the illegal fireworks.
Cold War Soviet era
You're not
tank.
buying. That's like what your uncle brings over after you went
Yeah.
traveling, you know.
This is like deep south level fireworks.
You gotta know the secret handshake, and then he pulls out the box from the back.
Yep. No restrictions, just for roadside
Joe
store.
Dirt level.
Dude,
you
so
mean to
good.
tell me you don't have any?
Ah! El Muro.
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 Okay.
Oh, just a hand cannon with a shield.
It almost looks like a tourist judge or a Smith & Wesson governor. Yeah, so it looks like it's shotgun
You mean
shells.
like a large caliber revolver?
Right, so the judge and the revolver, they'll take 45 Colt, or a lot of people call it 45 long Colt, that's fine, or 410 shotguns. And it's not the most like versatile. Some people are like, oh, it's good for carjacking. It's like, hey, yeah, you gotta be close for that one. It's good for critters. It's good for varmint control and like rattlesnakes. You see how long that cylinder is right there. I'm guessing it's probably modeled after. Mark Wahlberg used one in the Max Payne film adaptation.
Yeah.
You sound disappointed in that.
I never saw it.
Oh, it is cool. I never played the video game.
I just didn't want to be a poser.
Yeah. So the shield is interesting. I don't know what that's made out of. There's definitely practical
Looks like it's
use.
just looks like it just bolted together pieces of metal.
Yeah, which is fine. So the reason you don't normally want to use steel plates for your body armors, there's two main reasons. First one is fragmentation, where the ceramic plates like we were issued in the military, or I use nowadays, I have some polymer plates too. They absorb a lot of the energy and absorb the round, so it doesn't explode. Where the steel, it shatters. Now, if you're holding the shield out here and your face isn't over the top of it doesn't matter if it shatters, right? The other reason you don't want to use steel plates on your body armor is it delivers a lot of that energy to your body.
You're still getting,
Your bell's getting rung for sure.
It looks like there's a folding, almost like a collapsible nature to the shield, like almost like an arm shield, and then it pops open, kind of like God of War. He's got that rotating shield gun.
Okay, now it's going to be pretty heavy though. That's the other thing.
Right, and it looked like it was made out of pretty heavy materials. Yeah.
So Pequeno.
Pequeno.
Oh, holy moly.
Yeah, Gatling gun,
We
baby.
got a Gatling.
Get the little motor there.
It's
That's
so
awesome.
crazy looking though. It looks like it's a little off balance.
Probably a high rate of fire, but not very good accuracy. That's cool. Look at that thing, man.
My dad was telling me about how he wired a house once where the Amish were building it and they weren't allowed to use electricity, but they had a gas-powered table saw.
Nice.
So they'd start, and then they'd cut all the stuff.
I love the red hot barrel.
Yeah.
You can shoot a lot of rounds and stuff. I love that.
Yeah, adding that level of realism.
And then
It's
the
got a
ammo's
good
in like
chain,
that, that like little bean can of beans or something like that.
We call them nut sacks. Well, actually, we didn't call I never had a drum on my SAW 240, but they did. Well, I mean, like a cylindrical drum. They do make them, I believe. So this thing does not look very accurate, and I wonder if it's not accurate because of the way like the barrels are a little off balance.
Right.
So it's hard to keep, which is a nice touch for the game.
Yeah, we're assuming it's like a improvised Gatling gun.
You launch enough rounds at a helicopter, and you can bring it down for sure.
I love the heavy duty metals, the motor right there on the side. So
this is the most. I think this one and the last one are the most believable I've seen in the game so far. We're just smoking helicopters.
3 barrels. Are there Gatling guns out there with 3 barrels?
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah.
right.
There's a bunch. I think the Super Cobra has a 3-barrel Gatling gun underneath it, which that's one of my favorite helicopters of all time. Huey Cobra. It's made on a Huey chassis, Huey system. El Besito.
El Besti.
It'd be sweet if it just launches poison dart frogs, like it actually frogs
Actual
at you.
frogs.
And then you just like walk around tripping out.
Oh yeah, just a poison cloud. That's great.
It's kind of beautiful.
You kind of charge it up. Do you suck it back in?
I mean, I would.
I wouldn't inhale.
I didn't inhale. One of the reasons it's colored is that way you know, like, don't walk into that cloud. You know what I mean?
Right. La Sorpresa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Look at this thing.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, just
all
one
right.
shot.
Oh geez, so that's like probably one big HE round. That's bigger than a 50 cal.
That's cool, man. I like that.
It's a cool optic. Looks like an ACOG.
Yeah, it's almost like a revolver. You're taking the whole barrel out, you stick that one round in, and clank it back into place. That's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's a big old handle. It's a thermos. It looks like a big old thermos.
Yeah, it's almost like household items kind of thing. CD-ROM disc launcher. Wait, not my 1,000 hours of free AOL.
Well,
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
My favorite thing is like it's just garbage. It doesn't work, and they're just disintegrating as they go off.
That's awesome.
Love a good cockfight. Almost as much fun as a good sword fight.
You better quack that, folks. El rival. Papacito.
Cockfighting was a legitimate thing. I mean, it still is in some countries, and they get so intense. Like, I'm not a big fan of like harming animals. I process my own animals sometimes, and you want to do the least painful thing possible. So yeah, I'm throwing this out there, but it's funny. You know, we're killing people and burning helicopters. So like, you know, this is fantasy. I understand that. Back to cockfighting, they would actually make bladed knives and where they would put on their.
They'd attach them to their feet.
Yeah,
oh
so
my
they
gosh.
could like scratch the out of each other, and they would like make attachments for their beak with like jagged blades on it. Yeah, people get into it,
man. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole cockfighting concept, but these guys look cute.
Dogfighting. Well, not this kind of anyways.
It's just a bunch of ones and zeros.
Yeah, it's true. This is just a bunch of ones and zeros. To get too philosophical about our video game.
Finish him.
Oh, the headbutts, just a massive.
Yeah. Finishing.
What's going on here? Why is it?
Fatality.
Got shot. There's so many different types of chickens. There's wild looking chickens. Like initially, I'm just gonna get like the most healthy, robust chickens to lay eggs, but then eventually I'm gonna expand out and get some really wild looking ones. And they have some with just the craziest looking things. And you wanna get, depending upon where you're at, a rooster is helpful because it will protect the chickens and it will protect them against predators. And you know, you just gotta know how to deal with them. I think it's funny that like you brought me on to talk about guns and I'm
talking about
my knowledge about cockfighting. And
I think we have a new channel coming to Gamology very soon.
Cockfighting 101.
Man, so much fun, Paul, looking at the weapons from Far Cry 6. I love the improvised nature of all the weapons. You really could see all the nuts and bolts and the cables and stuff like that.
I really like the crossbow. I like the look of it. I like the arrows that it was using, or the harpoons rather. You know, it looks so intense and badass. Like, would it be realistic? I don't know, maybe. Maybe you could make it work. Maybe you could cock it that fast. I don't know. Let us know what your favorite weapon was that we talked about and what your favorite weapon is in the game. I'll definitely check out your comments.
Yeah, it's good stuff, folks. Far Cry 6 weapons. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, go over to Gamology's Facebook and YouTube page. If you want to hang out with me and Cameron Pfaff a little bit more, head on over to Shift Fire, or you can listen to us on the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast. And if you want to hang out with me some more, go over to twitch.tv/myhappyself. Paul, where can people get a hold of you online?
Hey folks, you can get a hold of me Mav11B, or also follow some of my teaching at Drake and Training Division on Instagram, and then also check out my podcast, Underpunk Radio.
We'll see you on the next one, team. Take care. Cat. El Susurro. If you are El
Susurro. You gotta roll the tongue. Susurro.